Cuisine AuntDai opened its door at Côte des Neiges on February 5th, 2014. The restaurant serves traditional Chinese food as well as some North American Chinese food. The original restaurant was destroyed in a fire on October 1st, 2017, and it was relocated to St. Mathieu Street in the downtown area. So what led you to open AuntDai?
Actually, our restaurant opened in early 2014, February. But 2 or 3 years before that, my friend, her family name is Dai. So her mom came visit from China. So she, I call her Aunt Dai. She cooked something really amazing. So I started learning some stuff from her. So that's the inspiration from Aunt Dai. But 2 or 3 years passed, nothing happened. And when we had our first baby, our only baby that time, and my wife was thinking about taking more time with the baby, so she did not plan to go back to her office job, and so thought the time would be flexible. So then the idea of having a restaurant with ordering Aunt Dai came to our mind. So that's 2014. We started the restaurant. Yeah.
Wonderful, great. So what kind of restaurant is AuntDai?
And we try to provide traditional Chinese dishes like twice cooked pork or those kind of classic traditional Chinese dishes. But at the same time, we want to also have some North American Chinese food like genital chicken, only a few of them. But majority of our menu is either Sichuan food or the northern food.
Okay. So how are things currently going with the restaurant?
Right now we are almost at the end of the pandemic, but in the 2020 and 21 was pretty tough, and so it's for average a lot of small restaurants it's really tough. For me personally, I lost my full-time IT job at the beginning of the pandemic, so during the whole pandemic period, I was in the restaurant whole time, 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. So I get full knowledge of how the restaurant was operating. So now even the business was okay, not the great, but we scaled down on purpose. And also we get really lucky during 2021, and we were reported by a lot of media, because of a tweet, and a lot of publicity on our way. So it helped a lot. Otherwise, we probably would be closing our door during the pandemic. Because of that, we kind of survived. Yeah, that's the situation right now, I guess.
So now things are almost back to normal, or?
For the customer who choose to dine in, and we see it's back to almost normal, a little bit less than what we saw before the pandemic, but we see it's coming back. But because of the short of staff, all those kind of restrictions, and we try to a little bit scale down and to build a better foundation for the business.
So what are your future goals for AuntDai?
My idea about having a Chinese restaurant in Montreal is to have a space for friends, family to meet, have a good Chinese food. So for me, it's very consistent from day one, 9 years ago. We try to have a good restaurant, but it's not perfect. We are not kind of pursuing to be perfect. But we try to improve every day. And for me personally, I always think it's a mistake to have a restaurant myself. It was a mistake. I was naive that time. But now I'm fully committed. It seems like I don't have any choices. So I have to make this work, the restaurant. So also I have a lot of experience right now. I think the business side, I hope it can work. But most important for me is to make the restaurant a personal place. Have meeting a lot of people, customers. We have a lot of really good customers. We know them, they know me, and that's the place I want to have. People can know me, I can know them. Have some stories to be shared, and they enjoy the place and enjoy the food at the same time. So that's always like a social place for me, a restaurant.
So you're quite present on social media. Can you talk a bit about your presence on social media with the restaurant?
Actually, I'm not a very active on social media, but I started 2021 after I got interviewed by CTV on New York Times. Then because I was reported because I got like comments on our website, restaurant website, to have comments on every item. So after that, I realized like instead of to explain every dish by words, I started shooting videos to explain every dish myself. So every item on our menu has a video to explain it myself. So after that, I got this idea of shooting videos already. So I got the YouTube channel. I talked to customers a lot. So I started a podcast called Eat with the Owner. So it's kind of a long form podcast. So I invite any customer or friends to come to sit me upstairs, one-on-one, start ordering food, and we eat food together, and we chat for 2 or 3 hours without editing or cutting. So everything is original. Just tell the story about myself and the guest story. So we ask each other questions. So if you some question, there's no preparation, so it's spontaneous. If I ask you a question, you don't want to answer, you just simply say I don't want to answer. And the same way, the question on my way as well. So it's just want to tell stories about people I know in Montreal, or people even I don't know. Some of them even first time we met on the video, we just start talking, and 2 or 3 hours, and it's long, and a lot of times it's very boring. Everyday people's story. It means nothing for a lot of people, but it could mean a lot for us when we look back when we are old. You know, we recorded our stories on video. So when you look back, it means something personally, to be honest.